Bodhi in the Brain, Part 18. Hello, everyone. This is Morgan O. Smith here. Bodhi in the Brain, of course, is my upcoming book, which will be coming out sometime soon, which is based on my meditation brainwave entrainment program, Yinnergy, which I created back in, I believe it was 2010. But something that I started creating back in 2006. But of course, it's through trial and error and learning new methods and learning how all this stuff works. In 2010 is when I created Yinnergy. So I'm very excited about this because it's many people have been using this and are using it, and it's making huge changes in people's lives. And it's definitely made huge changes in my life. So I just want everyone to know that. So if you're interested in Yinnergy, feel free to go through these segments and listen to them because there's a lot of information there that I provided here so that you have an idea what this is all about. And for those who've used brainwave entrainment in the past, this is most likely not like something you've used before. So unless you've used low carrier frequency brainwave entrainment, but even then, there's something that I've added that I don't believe anybody else has ever done. So I'm very excited about this and what Yinnergy can do. So for anyone who's listening to this for the first time, I just want to let you know that in regards to the benefits, anything you've ever heard about meditation, Yinnergy can do that, and it can do even more. For those who don't know, brainwave entrainment, at least low frequency or low carrier frequency entrainment, has the capability of doing things that regular binaural beats can't do, or at least for most people anyway. But what has been discovered with low carrier frequencies is just mind-blowing, and what it does to the brain, to the nervous system, to the nadis. For those who don't know what nadis are, those are the subtle psychic channels within your body. Or should I say psychic? I don't even know if that's the right term. But let's just say channels throughout your body, meridians. They're actually more refined than the meridians. So nadis are like probably as thin as a strand of hair, maybe even thinner, depending on the type of nadi that we're talking about here. But what it does is Yinnergy gets rid of the karmic goop that's stuck within these nadis. And when you remove all this stuff out of your nadis, you have better flow. The life force energy that flows through you flows through you better, because now that your nadis are unclogged. So nadis hold karmic goop, which I just mentioned. And if you ever heard the word karmic or karma, karma means action, cause and effect. So of all the things that's happened in our lives, whether it be excitement, trauma, stimulation, orgasm, excitement, all those different things, there's a side effect to that. There's a consequence to that, and it leaves a form of goop, if you want to call it that, karmic goop within your nadis, and they get trapped there. So your job is to, as an individual, is to try to find ways to remove that so that the life force energy can flow through you properly. And Yinnergy, and of course other forms of meditation and yoga, breathing techniques help with stuff like that to clear out those nadis so that everything flows through you. And when everything flows through you, you have the connection of being, one with the universe, at least if you can get to that level. And, as I said, Yinnergy can help you with things like that. Energy helps you with whole brain thinking. So that means, most people, we all use our whole brains when we do activities and things of that sort. But some of us are more dominant in one side over the other. So some of us are more dominant in the left and some are more dominant in the right. And with Yinnergy and, brainwave entrainment, such as Yinnergy, it helps to synchronize the two hemispheres of your brain so that you do your functions better. But not only are you doing your functions better, but because the two sides of the brain are more in tune and more in sync, you experience life differently. So you actually experience life the way it's supposed to be experienced, as opposed to it being more right brain dominant or more left brain dominant. So by experiencing life from a balanced brain, you get to see reality for what it actually is. And life, how it actually is very different than how most people see life. So that is a huge benefit in regards to what Yinnergy can do. And there's probably nothing more greater than that, because even though I'm talking about the two hemispheres of the brain and be able to see things from a more integrative standpoint, this goes a long way. This goes all the way up to what we call non-duality, where you, in the moment of non-duality, there are no distinctions between anything. So even though I'm an individual and I'm looking out into the world, right, I have my subjective self that's looking at the objective. At the moment of non-duality, the subjective and the objective becomes one singular thing. And if you haven't experienced that, you may not have a clue what I'm talking about, or may not even care. But when one has this experience and realize that you've never been separate from the universe, well, there's the truth to that you are separate from everything else that's outside of you. But the other truth is that you aren't separate, that everything is just one thing. Everything is one source, one singularity, absolute monism. Everything becomes this one thing. And you can have that experience. And when you have that experience, you realize who you actually are. And as I said, as I keep saying, Yinnergy can help you do that. Well, of course, that's not everyone's goal, but it's not everyone's goal because nobody talks about it. Hardly anyone talks about it, and no one even has an idea who it is. There's only just a few people who have this yearning for oneness, where they may seek something like that, and the rest of and everybody else is totally clueless to something like that. But these things are possible, and I've done it, and many other people have done it. In comparison, it's just a small percentage, of course, but many people have done this. Right now, as we speak in this world today, probably at least 45 million people have done this. So, and that's a small percentage in regards to the amount of people that we have on this planet. But people have done this, and it's not easy to do, but it is achievable. And so if you want to have an experience like that, doing many hours of meditation can lead towards that, even though really it's not meditation that's doing it. You've always been doing it. And we're just creating the story that we're using meditation to take us to that. That's the actual truth. But we're in the story right now in this reality. So in this reality, the script is playing out as if we're using meditation to get us to achieve something where there is really nothing to achieve, because everything there is to achieve, you already have, and you're already it. So you can't achieve anything. You are achievement itself. You are attainment itself. But we create a story, which could be, you had a tragic life or whatever the case is, and then something pushed you in towards seeking for something better or something that's more enlightening, and then you found a spiritual guru or a teacher or a mentor, and you trained under that person, and you were given techniques to do, like yoga techniques, meditation techniques, or something of that sort, and then you use these techniques and you do them every day until you achieve the ultimate. That's the story that we're creating. What's really happening is you've always been the ultimate, and the person who you went to as your mentor, your teacher, that is you. There is no separation between you or the teacher, and there's no separation between you and the meditation technique that you're doing, and there's no separation between you and the thing that you're trying to attain, because the thing that you're trying to attain has always been you and always will be you. Not you with the small y, but you with the capital Y. And that's always been who you are. It's just what you actually are creates stories and creates characters and does all of that. And this is what we call reality. But when you have the full realization of what you actually are, you realize that there was nothing to attain to begin with. So now that we're in the story, having this conversation, being in the story, we have things like meditation, yoga, and many other techniques, self-contemplation, self-inquiry, things of that sort, that takes us there, or it seems that it's taking us there. But as I said, you've always been there. You've never left. You've always been it. You're just choosing not to be aware of that so that you can carry out your life as an individual, and or as a collective, as a community, as a collective, as a nation, as everybody in the entire globe, and so on and so on and so on. So to come to that realization, at least through the story, most people use meditation, self-inquiry, yoga, and things of that sort to get there. So, but everything I just said, I'm sure that sounds confusing, but It's supposed to be confusing. It's actually that simple. So, yeah. So that's it for today, really. This is the last one I'm doing for Bodhi in the Brain, because I don't think there's other things I could cover, but you just have to pick up the book when it comes out. So when it comes out, hopefully it'll be soon. It's supposed to be May, but it could be even longer than that. But it'll come out this year. Pick up the book, Bodhi in the Brain. Read everything you can about this meditation program, which again is called Yinnergy. And for those who want to try Yinnergy, you can do that today. So you can order Yinnergy through me today, and you can start using it today. But remember, this is not a quick fix. This is not something that you can just do and all of a sudden you gain all these insights and all that stuff. This stuff takes time and practice. You got to put your time into it. And you're putting in an hour every day, 7 days a week. Each level the length of each level is about 4 to 6 months. And you keep doing this for a number of years until you attain whatever it is that you're trying to attain. And what I promise you is that your brain will become more holistic in regards to how you think and how you function. You start to clear out the stuff, the karmic goop that's within your nadis. You create more brain chemicals, or produce more brain chemicals within the brain, of course, which is like, serotonin, dopamine, and things of that sort. And the list goes on with all the different things that can change. You start to go into the deeper parts of the mind. The stuff that you've been repressing, you start to release these things that are holding you back, which you're not even aware of. But there's things that hold all of us back. And then when we start to unravel all the stuff that's under there, once we start digging that stuff, going into the repressed areas, where you start to release the repressed information, or should I say, traumatic material, you start to live a better and more fruitful life. You're now free of a lot of the things that kept you in bondage, and all of that. So by knowing how to do all that, leads to a better fulfilling life, really. So even if you never ever get to attain non-duality and all these things that I'm claiming to exist, at least you can become a human being that is free from your own turmoil, from your own suffering, and live a life that's fully fulfilled. So that's the least you'll get out of it. But for the special few, they can take it even further to the full realization that they are the actual universe itself, which I always continue to say, which you come to the realization that you are Brahman. And that's it. Thank you, everyone, and everyone who have listened to these segments. And again, if you want to try the Yinnergy program, you can try this right now. You can order it right now if you like. Or you can wait for the book, read the book, go through the book and say, wow, all these things that Morgan's claiming, I want some of this. And it's yours to have if that's what you really want. So that's it for now. And look up for other things that I'll be putting out. I'll be putting out other things, and also I'll be releasing other books. So I'm in the works now, working on other books that will be released momentarily. So, but the first book, of course, is Bodhi in the Brain, and there'll be other books that will be coming out that's more focusing on Eastern philosophy, things of that sort, spiritual awakening, spiritual enlightenment, and things of that sort. But the first one that will be out will be Bodhi in the Brain, and that will be out soon. So take care, everyone. Till next time.